Morning to everyone. Now, what you're looking at on the screen, or should I say, many persons have argued that this thing can't be done. Even when you Google it, sometimes it tell you that it's not possible, right? But it is proven that it can be done. And what you're looking at on the ground is a power steering pump. This is a power steering pump, and to be exact, this is a 3SGE Beams power steering pump. And this power steering pump, it came from the Toyota Altezza. This come from the Toyota Altezza. Now, these pumps, these power steering pumps are discontinued by the manufacturer, obviously. And so it makes the pump very, very rare. In fact, it is so rare that the persons who have these pumps are selling them for an arm and a leg. Very expensive when you actually find them, if you can. But these pumps are indeed, it was a good pump, it did time. Um, Unfortunately, it gave way. The shaft, there's a lot of play in the shaft around this area. A lot of play around this area. Person said they can rebuild the pump, but I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if this can be rebuilt. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try it to see if it can be rebuilt, but if not, then so be it. But the what I want to talk to you guys about this morning is that even though this is a Beams pump, the 3SGE pump, there's a substitute and there's an alternative in the North American market that makes and can make your life way more easier and better. And it is a 2JZ GE non-VVTI pump. That's a 2JZ. Yo. So this pump is the 2JZ non-VVTI pump, and this pump is IS300, yeah, Lexus IS300 pump from the US market. That pump that I just quoted you can be substituted for this pump, believe it or not. So the Japanese platform of the IS300, which is the Altezza, can also use the IS300 North American market pump with very minute, very minuscule, very small modification. In fact, you don't even need much. It is very, very, very easy to do. So easy to do, you don't even need the mechanical skills to do it. Right? It's very easy. So look at this hole right here. So this one, two, three. This is the beams pump. This came with 3 holes, and this is the hole that bolt on the power steering pump to the engine block, right? The Trace GE pump, it's installed on the car now, so I can't show you side by side, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna outline it. The Trace GE pump, this is how the pump sits. So the Trace GE pump will only catch these 2 bolts at the end. It will only catch these 2 bolts. This bolt will need a little bit of modification from the engine block, but these 2 bolts line up perfectly for the IS300 2JZ pump. Perfectly. And the third bolt, however, if you choose to use the third bolt, then you have to do a little modification around the back. Right on the engine block side, you're gonna need a modification. But once you bolt on these 2 bolts, believe me, this pump is not going anywhere. Now, the spline or the shaft, if you realize with this one, this is the beams pump, and you can see that there's visible play. There's visible play in the shaft. Visible play. And this pump is damage, like I said. But the difference also with the IS300 pump, the 2JZ pump, is that the shaft is a bit smaller. Or should I say the threading is a bit shorter. Right? The threading is a bit shorter than the beams pump. Threading is a bit shorter than the beams pump. But I'll get to that later. The other major difference is the pulley wheel. This is the pulley wheel. And if you count with me, you will see a six groove cutting in the 2JZ pulley wheel. Now the beams come with 4 groove, right? 4 groove, and the 2JZ pump comes with 6 groove. So the groove would make this pulley wheel unusable. Can't use this with the beams pump. Can't use this. This out tight. So this is for the IS300 6-cylinder engine. You can't use this. The belt on the beams no on a 6 groove, a 4 groove belt the beams use. So you can't use this. Right? So we take it off. When we take it off when we take off this off of the 2JZ pump, we put on the beams pulley wheel on the new IS300 pump. But here's the catch to it. The beams pulley has an indentation, and if you notice, this one is about 3/4 inch projection. Yeah, it's about 3/4 inch projection. It kind of, I don't know if you can see it properly. Yeah. But anyway, the beams has an indentation. Now, if you try to put on the beams pulley wheel over the IS300 pump, it is going to project outwards. So the belt won't line up with the crankshaft pulley. If you try to run the belt through the beams regular, it won't line up with the crankshaft pulley on the Trace GE engine. So what we do, or what we have done, is to reverse, turn it around. And the indentation that I just spoke about on the beams pulley wheel, when you turn it around, it slide over the shaft of the IS300 pump perfectly, thus creating the perfect alignment with the compressor, the crankshaft pulley, the alternator. So all belt is lined up perfectly when you turn the pulley to the indentation. All pump is lined up perfectly. All belt, is lined up perfectly. And so that made the IS300 pump a perfect match for the beams engine. Now, did you know how much personal look for that pump here? The beams pump go for $370, 360, right? That I use 340, and the reason for that is because they know that it is very, 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 very rare. So they are milking it, right? Not knowing, many persons don't even know and is aware that the IS300 2JZ pump can be used. Now this is the beams pump. Now the banjo bolt that goes in here, we use back the same banjo bolt that come from the beams pump. So we use back a lot of parts off of this, just to facilitate the same fittings that was in the car. So we use back a lot of parts, right? We don't throw away any of the parts. Then we use back a lot of the parts. So as you realize that this pump is now stripped. This pump is stripped, right? This pump is stripped, and because of the stripping, we use back this fitting right here. So we use back this fitting because the other pump never come with it. So we use back this fitting. This fitting fits the 2JZ pump perfectly, and we use back the banjo bolt perfectly. Now this, I got this with the pump. This is a high pressure line. The high pressure line, I got this with the pump, and the banjo bolt go right through here. So the banjo bolt goes right through here. So I use, like I said, I use back a lot of the parts them off this and the 2JZ pump. And I didn't use the high pressure hose because I used back the same pressure hose that came with the Alteza, and then everything worked perfectly. In fact, I am told by Google and by other persons that the 2JZ pump is firmer and more stronger than the Beams pump, and it's all because one use bushing and one use I don't remember the other one that how they say it use, but the Beams pump is known after a while to give way, to break down, while the 2Js, I keep saying IS 300, the 2JZ pump is more firmer because it uses seal. Yeah, one use seal and one use bushing, right? One use seal and one use bushing, and that's the difference. That is the difference between the 2Js. So anybody who plan a swap or plan a exchange, if you can't get the Beams pump, the Trace GE pump, if you can't get it, the 2JZ pump can work. 2JZ, the GE version, it can work. All you need to do is just use back the Beams pulley, turn it round. The pulley is the only thing that make the difference. The pulley, the only thing. Just turn around the pulley, and you have a perfect match. You have a perfect match, and believe me, miles differences, miles. It make the pump, it make the steering feel so beautiful, right? You make you wonder why they never use it in the first place, right? So if anyone knows anywhere that can fix our service this old, it's now old, Trace GE Beams pump Gen 5, anybody knows where can service, or anybody want to purchase this, they can do so. Like I said, it has a little play in the, just around the shaft around here, so there's a little play going on around here, so, and so I was told to change it. Now the other pump I said is working perfectly, and because the rarity of this, I'm not gonna throw this away, I'm gonna keep this. But if anybody want to purchase it and fix it or try fix it or look or to experiment with it, yeah man, it can be done. It can be done because there's no way this thing should be so expensive at all. There's absolutely no way this thing should be so expensive. And I have this high pressure line same way, and I have this 2JZ pulley wheel. These pulley wheels are also expensive. I don't know why these things are so expensive, you know. This pulley wheel are also expensive. So on the ground right here, so you're actually looking at about, no joking, this on the ground right here, so you're actually looking at about 450, 420 US dollar right here, so upon the ground alone. On the ground alone, because this pump, I see this pump on eBay for 370 used, and it's not a guarantee that it's working, right, man? So people, it can be done. Don't let them tell you otherwise. It can be done, right? And that is the complete exchange of the Beams Trace GE power steering pump. It can be switched out, and the 2JZ GE pump can be used, and that's a stronger pump compared to this one, like that them say, and I mean say so that them say. So if you're in the market and search your pump, buy a 2JZ GE pump, man. And that's the pulley you have to change around. It works wonders, right? It works wonders. So yeah, the right thing that, the right way that, the right way that. So the pulley, yeah, the right thing that. Oh, and the next thing before me sign off for the live here, the next thing I want to highlight is that these type of pump does not use power steering fluid. It don't use power steering fluid. Yeah, they are very expensive, DJ, very expensive. And because of the rarity, very expensive. It's unbelievable. And I see some pump for $60, $70. So when they must sell them pump for $300, it's unbelievable. I can't believe. Oh no. But one of the I think persons, because it mark power steering fluid or power steering pump, they use power steering fluid in this particular pump. Now, this pump and the 2JZ pump, even though on the reservoir bottle it mark power steering fluid, whatever you do not show power steering fluid in it. Do not show power steering fluid into it. It is going to destroy your pump. These pumps are made to use transmission fluid, automatic transmission fluid, Dexron 3 to be exact. Automatic transmission fluid, Dexron 3 ingredient. That's what these pumps were created to use when the manufacturer make it. Transmission fluid, not power steering fluid. And we throw power steering fluid in it and we mash it up because it mark power steering fluid on the reservoir. But I don't say it go, man. A transmission fluid you throw in this. Dexron 3 additive. So you throw transmission fluid in it and the pump work perfectly. So don't make a mistake there and act frightened because it mark power steering. Nah, do it nothing. If you put transmission fluid in it and that it's safe for use. Read the fine print on the buckle, on the reservoir top. Read all of the fine print on the reservoir. And you see the difference. Yeah? Read the fine print on the reservoir top. Yeah, man. World of difference, man. World of difference. So, that's a keynote I want to understand. Mark power steering fluid, but don't use transmission fluid. Zin? Use transmission fluid. Right. Knowledge is key. Yeah. So we have to teach them because, especially the females, it mark power steering pump and then must run go buy a backlog power steering pump and show it night. And they are breaking down the inside of the pump because transmission fluid, power steering fluid is kind of more harsh. So you're breaking down the seals inside of the pump. So transmission fluid straight for this beams pump and for the 2JZ pump. You can check the small print on your power steering reservoir. There's a small writing that says ATF, automatic transmission fluid. That's what it means. ATF means automatic transmission fluid. And it tells you that Dexron 3 must be as an added ingredient for it to be even more effective. So that is that. And I hope you guys, for those who are even searching for the pump, I hope you guys find this video a bit educational and informative. So you can go and get your 2JZ pump. You can get 2JZ pump way cheaper than this. A brand new 2JZ pump on Rock Auto is about $250 US, $180 US. A brand new one. And a refurbished one can be about $140 thereabout. But I would strongly recommend a refurbished, genuine, as opposed to a new one, because the newer ones them are I don't know how the returns stay on the newer ones them, but the refurbished genuine, those are, as you know, they just change out the seals in them and basically brush them up and put them out there, just like repairing them. So I would recommend they use genuine as opposed to a brand new aftermarket, right? I strongly would recommend that. So all the best people searching for pumps, and until the next video, I'm sure I can showcase again at the next video. Knowledge is key, and each one teach one. I know we're not gatekeep around here. Each one teach one. So bless up and keep safe. Alright, take care.